Hi and welcome to Family Camp Tents channel and site. Today I have an interesting tent to show you. This is about Helinox tactical field tunnel tent. The story about Helinox and its tent is quite interesting. Perhaps you know, but if you don't know, this is a brand that belongs to DAC or DAC, which is the world leader of tent poles. So some time ago they decided that having such a great technology, they could create outdoor furniture, and then they started making camping chairs, tables, and camping cots. They are always of the best quality, and they offer 5-year warranty for their products. Now, the story with tents is a bit new, at least for the West. This tactical field tent is new in the West, but actually it has been in Asia on the market for at least 4 years, as far as I know. So here is the tent, as you see here in my post in the site, which I'm using to show you the features and the pictures. So you see, this looks like a standard tunnel type tent. There are some really interesting features here, but there are also some features that are not so great. So what you don't realize from the picture is that this is a freestanding tent, and they have achieved this with a clever design. So the tent includes these four main support poles loops, but you see they have added sets of these X-crossed poles. You have three of them here and another three on the opposite side. So this makes the tent completely freestanding. And I can tell you there are no many tunnel type tents that are freestanding. There are some really great designs with different ways of making such a tent freestanding, but this what you see here is quite unique. So this is a great feature. You can set this tent up anywhere, regardless of the ground. But of course, if you expect wind, as you should always, it's best to stake it down properly. You have everything included in the package. Another thing that is interesting here, that this is just a shell. So this is a floorless shelter. There is no floor and there is no inner tent here. So all that you see is here in the picture. This is just a external shell fabric. But there are some great details here. For example, the tent has two huge doors on the two ends. You see here through the tent. Both doors are double layer, which means you have a full-size zippered mesh and then separate zippered panel. And this is the same on both ends of the tent. And these panels and mesh doors are with three vertical zippers, and this means that you have two separate pieces on each door, two for the panel and two also for the mesh, and then you can use them as you wish. In this picture you see how the one half of the door is actually rolled up, both mesh and panel, and fixed under the roof, and the other is in place. And here you see that you can roll up both of them and keep out of the way. The same is of course on the opposite side. But there is more here. There are something that you could describe as windows on the sides of the tent. And here you see how it looks, and if we go back you can see it also in this picture here. So this is completely on the ground, and you could describe this also as low doors. So for example, if you camp with kids, they can get inside here, or if you have a dog and so on. these openings are also double layer, and perhaps you can see it here in the picture. So there is mesh, a separate zippered mesh, and then separate zippered panel. And if you feel cold, or if you want privacy, you can close them both, and then this is how it looks when it is closed. But the point is that you have on all four sides of the tent, you have huge mesh openings, so you can regulate air circulation as you wish. Regarding materials, as you would expect from Helinox, of course, you have really premium class materials here. The best part are definitely the poles, because this is something from the house. They make them, and you have enormously thick four loop poles that are shock corded, of course, and as I mentioned, these X-crossed shorter poles that make the tent freestanding. There are clips where the poles attach 8 close to the ground, and on the roof you have sleeves that are integrated in the shelter fabric, and on the ground you have grommets. There is also a set of guidelines or ropes that are pre-attached, and this makes the setup easier. They come attached as you see here in this picture, so don't miss opportunity to secure the tent and stake it to the ground, because you also have 20 huge stakes for this purpose. The fabric is durable. I would describe it as typical for such tents. It is 75D polyester, but ripstop, so this is a strong material. And they say that it is coated on both sides. This is interesting, but they don't give actually waterproof rating. So I asked them, haven't received any answer yet, but if I receive it, I shall add this information here in the post. The mesh areas that I showed are nylon, and this is a strong 60D material. The carry bag is with dual top zippers, and it is normally a strong material, 600D, so everything fits inside easily, and you can transport it safely. Ventilation, you have already seen, openings on all sides, so you can have as much air circulation as you want. But if you have, or if you want to close all these openings, the doors and windows, you still have these vents above the doors. So you see actually here the other on the opposite side, and these vents are also dual layer, which means you have mesh and you also have zippers, panels, sorry. So you can close them also if you feel cold. Now, regarding the best use and regarding the area of this tent, they don't give official capacity. It wouldn't make sense, because this is just a cover. There is no inner tent, there is no floor inside. But the covered area is 140 square feet or 13 square meters. So from such a number you would conclude that this tent can accommodate up to 8 people. Of course, this will depend on what you do inside, what kind of inner tent you put inside, or if you don't put any, you can sleep, of course, on the ground. 8 sleeping pads will fit easily. You can add an inner tent. If you have any freestanding tent at home, you can remove its fly and use only the canopy with the poles and put it inside of this tent. There are many tents on the market that are freestanding with a minimal coverage fly, so you don't need a fly for this purpose. You just use the inner tent with its freestanding frame, and you put it inside, and then you have full protection from insects, flying insects, crawling insects, and so on. And of course you are under this enormous shell. The remaining space will be used as your dining, sitting area during the day. There are inner, I mean there are other tunnel type tent that are freestanding, and I give here one great example, Big Agnes Bunkhouse 8 tent. There is also, this is 8 person, there is also REI tent Wonderland 6. So both these tents are tunnel type and freestanding, and they have doors on the narrow sides of the tent. So you can use any of them without the fly, put in under this Helinox shelter, and then you will have full protection from insects, and you will be protected from the rain as well. You can also do this differently and put, for example, some insulated tents inside. There are several of them described in my sites, and one of them is Kua Kala 2-person insulated air tent, which is freestanding, dark rest insulated. So you can put it inside of the tent. You can put 2 or 3 of them here, and then have protection from the cold. Note that also here in the site I have yet another Kura tent, this Kala family insulated air beam tent, which is for 5 people. So this tent is freestanding and it can easily fit into this Helinox shelter. So you see, you can use this shelter in many ways and definitely in all seasons and climates. The amount of protection that you have underneath it will depend on what you use for sleeping. You can also sleep off the ground, and then you can use something that is called cot tent, which means you have a cot and then a canopy above it that protects you from insects. Actually, I give here a link. It should be, it seems I forgot to add. It should be, but I will add it here. So Helinox has its own cot tent with canopy that is either mesh or taffeta, so you can use it inside of this shelter. So as you see, many ways of using this cover, this shelter, and this is what makes it really versatile. Regarding the weight and packed size, it's difficult to rate it properly because there is no floor, there is no inner tent, and then when I rate it using my standard rating criteria, it doesn't really compare well with other tents that have inner tents and floor. But as it is quite heavy. You see, 30 pounds, almost 14 kilograms, and the packed size is 80 centimeters long and 33 centimeters diameter. So this is something that you're not supposed to carry anywhere. This is for car camping. Regarding the price, again something to consider. This is a really expensive shelter, very expensive. So if you're on a budget, you wouldn't think about it. But the good thing is that you have a 5-year warranty with this tent. So I shall end up here. I have my rating for this tent. It's not so great in view of the weight and packed size, and then protection is, I would say, good, but it depends on what you mean by protection. You are definitely protected from the rain, but you are not protected from the insects, so you need extra inner tent for it. The tent is easy to use and it has good quality materials, and craftsmanship is here on a very high level. But as I said, it's very expensive, there is no inner tent, it's bulky and heavy. So thank you for watching. Please follow the link below the video. You can come here to my site and read about this tent in detail. Subscribe to my channel and give me a like if you find this presentation useful. See you next time.